to Butterland, Liberia. Your host is the Lord Chilope. My other host shall be here shortly, Mr. Linford Boy, who might be in the background. Today we're going to have a fascinating discussion on the Butterland regarding Mama Liberia. And if you joining all for the first time, kindly share our show. Today we'll be discussing about training issue in Liberia. Before we do that, I'd like to play some intro music while we're waiting for the other host to join in. My name is Lord Chilope. I live in London, and my other host, Linford from Norway, will be joining soon. So share the show, and then I'm going to play Takunje music while we wait for our host to join us.
My people, where you at? Where you at? Wake up from your slumber, stop sleeping. Wave your hands, wave your hands, wave your hands, wave your. Come on, come on, come on. I know you're sleeping now. You gotta wake up some more, yeah? Okay, let's go. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They betray us so much. I said they lie. The people fool us, oh. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they will not the world. I said we tired with their lies. We tired with their promises that led us to all our damages. We tired with that speech they preach indeed, and now unique they deceive us. The thing we saw, it frustrate us. So why can't you lie? Why can't you steal? Why can't you allow the citizens to beat? You see, we just tell you that why we vote tell you. But you fool us, you screw us, you use us and later on abuse us. So why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask. They lie. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They betray us so much. I said they lie. The people fool us, oh. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they will not the corrupt. No one to trust. My people, no one to hope on. Nobody. My hope that I have been broken. I'm telling you, brother. So where are the schools? Where are the roads? Where are the jobs that they say they could afford? But they're too selfish. The people tired with their rhetoric. People tired, they tired. You see the reason why we ask why the government betray. They have enough for time, but yeah, then instead they delay. People suffer. No work for people crying for hunger. Look at. Your vision and your mission, your intention to the nation, they poor. You got nothing to show. Nothing. So why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask. They lie. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They betray us so much. I said they lie. The people fool us, oh. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they go knock the corrupt. With the promises that led us to all our damages. We tired with that speech they preach indeed, and now unique they deceive us. The thing we saw, it frustrate us. So why can't you lie? Why can't you steal? Why can't you allow the citizens to beat? You see, we just tell you that why we vote tell you. But you fool us. You screw us, you use us and later on abuse us. So why? The government should lie. Why? But that the question that we ask. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They betray us so much. I said they lie.
Before you mute, welcome to Butterline Liberia. This is Lord Cholope from the Great Britain, and my host panelist Linfa Goel is in Norway. How are you, Linfa? You muted, we can't hear you. So as we wait for Linfa.
Do you hear me now?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Okay, great. Yeah, it was a little glitch. I would say welcome and thank you very much, Paul, for um, getting us on time. It's always good to hop in. Like Paul said, I'm in Norway and he's in the UK. So Paul said we are distance apart. Let me just know exactly how you've been doing and how is your weather. You just came from Liberia and coming back to the UK. I guess it's a little different. And so tell me.
Well, it's good to be back here, and I was home. It was good to be back home also to meet the old people and
Mm-hmm.
the family.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Nowhere like home. Usually, when you're home. As you enter Liberia, when the breeze touch you, you know that yeah, this is where I was born, and
Mm-hmm.
you're always happy to be home and to meet family, friends, especially people that you went to school with. Some of them are big shot in the country, and some were because of political affiliation, they decide not to talk to you anymore. So you get to meet all of that, and it was good being home. And I did my voter registration, and I
Oh,
due to
great.
be back in Liberia too pretty soon by His grace, and they will be there talking to people to make the right decision. Yes, it's good to be back.
Thank God that you're back, and I envy you, and I hope that pretty soon I will be back home too, and I can experience some of the hard time. You know, it's been six years, huh?
Oh
20
wow.
2016 since I left. So it's been 7 years. Yes, exactly 7 years in this March. So in this current March, so I don't know what it feels like back home. I guess when I was there 6 years ago, that was Ellen's time. So the hard time was different. The caliber of hard time was different. At least men could find water to drink. But now, after another 6 years of real hard time, so I think it has doubled. And I would really love to see or feel how it feels to go through what they're talking about. But we do sympathize with our people that after electing a government that everybody really thought would have done better, can lead us to where we are. And so this is it. I don't know, should I say this is this is nature's call, or it's just some accident or coincidence, or they will say in Liberia bad luck. So no, that's it. But like Paul said, we're going to be discussing issues tonight, and we can open our phone line as well. If you want to be a part of the conversation, you can call in to talk. And basically, what we'll be talking about tonight is in recent time. I mean, and this is not new. It's been since this government took over, okay. But in recent time, in the last 2 years, or okay, let's reduce it to the last 1 year, okay. That is 2022. The latter part of 2022, take it from August or take it from July 2022 to now, there have been series of protests, and those protests are not from opposition. those protests are not from social groups. They are government employees, people working inside the government, people working for the government, people that make up the government. They are the one protesting. And what are they protesting for?
Money.
Money. What are they
Yeah.
protesting for? Bad working condition. What are they protesting for? Salary arrears. Can you imagine that you work, you leave your house, children, you're wait, mama, wait, are coming, mama sitting and waiting. Then you go to work. You work from day one. Okay, since they don't work Saturday and Sunday, they work like 24 days in a month. Subtract, if you subtract 4 Saturdays and 4 Sundays, that's 22 days, make it 22 days in a month. And then you come back home empty-handed. You sit down, no money. Your children look at you. But mind you, your children can eat. Mind you can pay house rent. You're supposed to pay your way to go to work. Paul, I mean, it's unimaginable. I don't know. I really don't know how they manage, how the guys manage in Liberia. I don't know. So then people have been protesting and protesting and protesting. When it happens in the opposition bloc, they say, oh, they don't like a government. But it's the same government that are protesting against itself, because the workers of the government are protesting themselves. And you just came from Liberia, Paul. Tell me, why you think these people are protesting against the government? Is it because they don't like a government? Like the people always say, when you protest, then you hate the government?
But Linford, this is straightforward and it's very simple.
Hmm.
When you talk employment with your company or with the government, your salary was $700,
Hmm.
and the new government came in and said, "Oh no, 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 $700 is too much for you alone.
It's too good for you.
It's too good. So we're gonna cut your budget. We're gonna cut that $700 to $300.
Hmm.
Will you be happy? You know, because that 700 you had that you're getting, it was all planned. It was managed by your living condition. You're supporting your nephew, nieces, sending them to school, feeding your whole household, and they decide to cut the 700 to 300. You will never be happy. And this is what the people find. Then over that, you have not taken pay for 3 months, 2 months.
Yeah,
How do they expect
I
you to
think
survive?
Yeah, I think the cutting of the money, yes, it will hurt a little bit, but eventually they will get used to it, right? Say I was making 700, you call it to 400 or 300. Yeah, the first week you will need a big gap, or the first 1 month, 2, 3 months, I can adjust. But then to add insult to injury, you finish hurting me
Exactly.
already, then you start causing me on top of it, then you start treating
Mhm.
me organ away on top of it, cut the money, then you can't pay me. Amen. Amen. And that's not the only thing we'll be talking about. This is just an intro. That's not the only thing we'll be talking
But
about.
you know what really hurtful in the whole process?
Mm,
Those guys that were living in zinc houses few years ago, today are the one that are living in mansions, and those are the one that are cutting people's salary from
it's
what they
here.
were earning,
It's
and
here.
then people seeing it with their own eyes, and they going about preaching that, oh, they done well, and the people must give them another six years. So this is Liberian have to be smart enough. Now I don't know how the government feel. You cut my salary out making 700 to 300, and you asking me give me another chance, but you living in mansion, and I'm still renting a zinc house. This is common sense.
Okay. So you see, that question you asked is the crust of our discussion tonight, where this government is cutting your money. And like Paul said, the same guys you and them used to be around. You used to sit down and eat a roasted cassava together. You used to be buddies. When mosquito come, you're all driving. It move from me, you go to Paul driving. It Jimmy is lucky you would like a mosquito die. But the same guys now turn around, they picking your bosses because you knew them, you voted them for them to lead you. And then when you put them in office, that condition change. But you stay sitting down on that same old plain bench in front of your house, in front of that zinc house, where the mosquito is so kind of ew. But now where the guy living?
Absolutely.
The guy is living way in one house where the fence alone can build 10 houses or 10 of your zinc house, the fence around your house can build a little concrete house, 10 of the size of your zinc house that you're living in now, and the guy living way up there, but you stay on that scene, playing bench. If you use to burn mosquito coil, you say burning mosquito coil, I make an air conditioner. You see, so that will be the crux of the discussion tonight. But the next thing we'll be talking about is something that we've been hearing in the media all the time, and not in all media though, or a specific media group, a media entity that have been pushing this thing, probably for some interest, we don't know. We'll go into that. That is this much heralded, this much talked about opposition unity. And the opposition unity they're talking about, they're not naming all the other parties who they want Cummings to go and pay JMB. JMB, I want to be your vice president. That no way we can move Georgia. And some people, Liberian people who cannot think beyond their noses, I'm not insulting them, but I'm just saying the fact. They can't think. Because if you can think, you will not want somebody to tell you something you see is visibly clear. Eh? My friend, Paul, even if I can see, I can feel, I can hear. And if I know you come and it's raining, you say, no, my man, letting it not rain, letting not coming down, what falling on you, so it not rain. Not different thing. And I believe you, then something must be inherently wrong with me. And that's what Liberian people are doing. So they are saying Cummings should go and go beg GMB because GMB is entitled to this presidency. He inherited it, so he's entitled to it. And the only way anybody else can become president of Liberia is to go through him. You know, like I said it last time, Paul, it's like Jesus Christ coming and knocking his chest. I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man coming to me as coming to the Father except through me. I mean, how sensible is it? So what we'll be talking about tonight is the idea is being pushed by a particular media entity. And the question is, what is the interest does that media entity have in Cummings going to be vice president to JMB? And we'll be looking at that. So like I said, if you have the opportunity, you can call. We'll display the telephone numbers later on, and as the discussions progress. Paul?
Yes, thank you for that, Linfo. At least the intro is okay, and I just want to make a quick announcement to our viewers. We also own the Bottom Line radio. You can find us on my tuning as well. So if you're at work and then you just want to listen, you can listen via the radio that we have also. It's called the Bottom Line Radio. We also have an app that you can also download on your phone. Yes, and those are the things that we doing here. The radio is 24/7. You can always follow us. And we're also on YouTube as we're on YouTube live. You can catch our Instagram and also we're on Twitter. So yeah, the bottom line is here to live, to stay for long, and we think that's it.
And by way of information, I think this Friday, today is Tuesday, this Friday, Bottomland may not be coming on because Paul and I think we'll have some engagements. I think Paul knows what I'm talking about. We're going to be on wheels. I don't know if we can bring it from where we will be, but we have a very, very strong engagement that it is a must that will be there. And so maybe Paul will be there on Saturday, but I will be there Friday. So if possible, if I get there and I see what the situation looks like, we may come on. But if we do not come on, and that's why we have made arrangements and made some adjustment that Thursday, that is after tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday will be a special edition, and we'll be hosting one of the strongest warriors of the ANC, Duke JJ. He's going to be the tough talking guy. I thought I would talk, but I told the guy hello, and he said 1,000 words just by saying hello. So I trust him, and I know he's going to be. Yeah, that's Duke. That's Duke for you. So Duke is going to be here as our guest on Thursday, just in case we do not come on Friday. But on Thursday, you will get to know if we come on Friday or not. But just for you to know that there will be a special edition with Duke on Thursday, same time, 8 o'clock Central European time, 6 o'clock Liberian time. And so, Paul, that's it. We, like I said, we'll be bringing you details of what will be coming on Friday, and that will be on Thursday. We'll give you the details. Okay. And Paul, like we were saying, I want us to drop back a little bit. You and I grew up just about the same time, same place, in Monrovia, on Capital Bypass, Charlatan region, Satan, Blanco, that whole region, that whole region there. If you take it
Exactly.
behind, you take it behind Jimmy Parole House, way behind the mountain, going all the way
Hmm.
to to Slipway. That's our area. We grew up there. Then if you claim it here, you kind of my own area, Warming, and then and Pastor community, going to the barracks, Ken Johnson Road, part our farm road. So we grew up just about in the same area, and we saw almost everything. The new police station was built right in front of you and I.
Exactly.
Okay,
Yeah.
and so we saw it. And in those days, Paul, uh, my father did not work for government. My father worked at Chase Martin Bank, so at least he worked in a bank. So we always show money at the end of the month. Or in fact, they should take pay two times a week, 2 times a month. That is. But people people I have close neighbor friends who are almost like brothers. And we live partly in their house, and we became brothers. And the father of my friend used to work as a fire service man. He was uh, captain in the fire service. Later on, during the dual coup, he became major corner one of those. Okay, and I can tell you, the old man used to take his pay, and we knew his son knew exactly, or all of us knew exactly when the permitted pay, because when you come in home, it's different. The whole art changed, and we know. So then we're ready to to farm him and go buy our thing there too. So our candy and ice cream there. So what I'm trying to say is that government employees, if we drop back, we're talking about in the 70s, mid 70s, late 70s, early 80s, government employees used to take pay, whether it was small or not, they used to take pay. They also had this thing called LPA. You remember that, right?
Yeah.
So
Well,
that
they used
if
to go to the Lebanese people and
okay,
credit goods and
and take
pay.
goods, and then they subtract it from your pay, and this was working. I personally had an Indian friend who was LPA man on Benson Street. And I remember one Saturday, this guy invited me to his store, and we're there. More had just ended, and can't see the bundle of checks. And you're telling me, okay, look at the one that I said, take 300, put it one side, and we're reaching a thing. Then I was amazed to see how much money these guys were getting from this LPA from government employees. But still, life was moving. People were going to school. Those are the government employees that could afford to send their kids to school, to private school. Some of them send
Hmm.
them to government school, but they went to good schools, good
That's
government
right.
school. They had uniform, they had everything. But Paul, coming further, because in life does not go behind. People do not go behind. We go ahead. We advance ahead. Okay, we do not retrogress. Okay, we go ahead. Coming from the 70s up to the 2023. Yeah, we're talking about some almost 40 years around here. And then
Yeah.
government employees cannot take pay that they have to strike, they have to demonstrate. As we speak to you today. Last week, it was employees of the Ministry of Transport. Today, it was the employees redundant. They are redundant. That means there were plenty of workers, so they reduced them. You get plenty of girlfriend. Then you say, okay, they all want one again. You drop them. Then their clothes were in your house. You're having something for them. You see, say you can't give it to them. Every day they come to you and say, no, today I'll get your shoe. I'll get one pair of shoe. Go come back tomorrow for the blouse. For the blouse. I'll get the blouse tomorrow. That. So this return, I said today, is the 11th of April. People were demonstrating at NTA. This one is a National Transit Authority, another government entity. And so Paul, like the throwback I gave, I just want you to give your own retrospection of what you and I grew up, what we went through, how our parents managed, how things happen, because I don't understand how it is nowadays.
There's a saying they say, everything have time, right? It's time for
Hmm.
everything as well. And I remember when we were kids on the bypass there and the Jonathan were roaming around. When my old man used to say during the tournament time they used to buy a cup of rice for 10 cents.
Hmm.
But then on the 15th of every month, they
Yes.
have pay because my mom she used to work at biscuit factory.
Okay.
Yeah. So there was jobs around, and whether they were paying them 30 cents per hour at the time, they were getting paid regularly on the 15th of every month.
Hmm.
So it was something that we always look forward to. And being a kid, I also used to sell to the old police station. And when the police will take pay,
Oh
they give
yes.
you little 5 cent, 10 cent as being a nice little kid who's selling over there.
Yeah.
So things were okay. People could afford. And remember too, the system that was in place when we were kids, when we were ill, our parents didn't have to worry. We went to GFK, we were treated free. So all the little burden was not on them. But today, now, the moment you get headache, before you go to GFK, before a doctor see you gotta pay $10 registration fees. It's all over the place. And then this government came and did the right thing by homogenizing the people's salary by cutting it to zero.
Hmm.
And then they added more people too on the payroll. And then what they decided to, well, the little money that was there, they could not pay people salary. They started building condominium all over the place. So here we are, people not getting paid. Their children need to eat. Children that they are family ill, they need to take them to hospital. They're not getting paid. Definitely, people will demonstrate. They want their salary. Why holding them? You can't work for free for 2 3 months. You can get paid, and you get your landlord to look after as well. You've been threatening for them to kick you out of your place. So all of these things get people mad. And remember too, we in election year, it's civil servants are now protesting. Tell me, will they vote for the same government that ill treating them? The answer is no.
Interesting. The answer is no, from your perspective. But Paul, I want us to consider something. You are Liberian. I'm a Liberian. We were born in Liberia. We grew up in Liberia. We have seen at least two, three governments come and go, four governments come and go. And trust me, our Liberian people, they are special kind of people. I want you to remember certain songs. You came about, in fact, Nete woman born so your man came, Congo man, something like that.
So you can't talk about.
Mhm. And then we passed through that one. The Nete woman born so I remember from April. It's in April. Tomorrow, April 12th.
Yeah.
Huh. April 12th. Eh,
It's
April 12th. Tomorrow, April
it's
12th.
April 12th, yeah.
Yeah, tomorrow, April 12th. And I remember we joined that convoy, we were dancing all around Montreal because when as a crowd come to dance, we just joined there. We know what's going on side. We begin there.
Exactly.
Yeah, we get behind there. When we go fably, don't come back home. Not knowing that was the start of our trouble.
Hmm.
Then came the other song. You came up, I came, mama, I will vote for you.
Hmm.
I'm making reference to our Liberian voters. So.
I agree.
Then thank him again. Oh, he noble. I will vote for him.
Hmm.
And we are living with the reality today. So when you ask that question as to whether these civil servants, who the government is cutting that money and cannot pay them on top of it, when they talk, they say we'll fire you. And I'm making specific reference to a video that I watched somewhere where the Minister of uh, 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 Transport,
Transport.
Samuel Wulu, gave a long speech and threatening his employees that if we see any of you demonstrate or protest for your money, you will be fired. We know what you're saying in the corner in your offices. We hear everything. Okay, I have the authority to fire you. And he was like giving command. At the end of his story, he said, "Am I clear? That military star."
Oh
Okay,
yeah.
so and I don't think these people are slaves. There are people who went through the civil service screening process. They were offered a job, and they've been working. Some of them have been even working longer than you, Mr. Minister. but you have the audacity to come and sit before them and talk and chastise them as if to say they are your kids. And this can, in Liberia, this thing can happen. Okay, tell me, what if all those people, most of them are professional people, okay? Some of them are accountants or whatever, mechanics and all the kind of people, there are different type of people in that ministry. What if they all say, okay, we are protesting today, can't sack us? Are you able to sack them? But Liberian people, where we're supposed to show our strength, we do not show strength, So when you ask that question,
But Linford, wait a minute. The people
mm,
that he spoke to, it was not everybody. It was the directors and other ministers that were in his circles that he spoke to.
yeah, but what if they say, okay, we're going to talk, can't sack us?
Well, so what you're saying, it makes sense because if you're talking to your counterpart as a little kid, what would be his reaction when he leave the room?
Right. See? So when you ask that question, whether they will be able to vote for this thing government, yeah, it's a good question, sensible question. But given the historicity of the voting population in Liberia, the way we can think,
All right,
that yeah,
Linford. Let me
mm,
cut you off.
yeah,
You
please,
see, our people have a way of doing things. They can shoot themselves in the foot sometimes because when people tell them the truth, they don't listen.
mhm.
You know, Bog, you don't know, Bog will vote for you. And we accepted it. Who now feeding the crunch?
They,
The very people who were singing a song
mm,
is the very people that are mad today. Say, that's what we put you there for.
hmm,
They didn't want to listen. I was in a camp in Monrovia, and a 22-year-old boy. He said 22, no, about 26, 27. And he was so angry, sitting in the front seat of the cab and telling the cab, man, this is not what we put these people there for. We moved there. And the taxi driver saying, you and my son just about the same age. When I told my son, you're making mistake, you didn't listen. But now you're
no,
feeding it, so you're now complaining. So those very people now that decided to shoot their own foot is now feeding the pinch of this government that boy, will put it there. If you know, boy, this is where you get. If you know, boy, it's different. So they understand now. The very person we know, boy, they can be the very first to wake up their children to go to school. You see how clever we are when we make bad mistake and then we start feeding, we put our hand on our head. And
mhm.
this will lead us to another topic after this. The very
Okay,
people now coming back
mm,
to another silly thing that is unknown. You're going to die, will put you there. Only Liberia, that something just wrong with all whether with the get screwdriver that they can turn it to screw our ear the other
our
way.
brains,
Yeah, only Liberia that for some reason the thing they call common sense and reasoning is never there among a lot of us, our brothers and sisters, including myself. So I'm a Liberian, I would say it. That some screwdriver they can get 10 and then twist our brain to listen to some silly talk. So it started again. Election coming. So go on.
okay, and like we were saying, Bo, you don't know Bo, will vote for you. And we set this kind of bad precedents. Okay, we send bad signals, we send bad messages to people unknowingly. But again, like Paul says, there is something about us Liberians that the rest of the world does not understand. And this thing about this salary delay is not only limited to one sector in government. Hmm? Every government entity is experiencing this. And it's been quite a while. I can't recall when any private company people went to demonstrate for salary, like Fason, Simeco, beer factory. I haven't heard that in recent time. It didn't happen before. I can't say it never happened, but I haven't heard that in recent time. Now, this time around, the most recent ones, we've been hearing about water and sewer, National Housing Authority. Then recently, just 2 or 3 days ago, the Ministry of Transport. Then the ministry, the latest is the NTA, National Transit Authority that just happened today, where Spoon TV was. I saw it live. I was watching it throughout, where the ladies will have to go and prostrate, lie straight, flat to the gate, that no MTA car is coming out or going in. Now, but that's not only that. A few weeks ago, let's make it some 11 or 12 days ago, exactly the end of March, there were some retired workers at the University of Liberia. And I recognized one of them, Professor JJ was one of those. And the other man, they were leading a group of retirees who have gone to demand their retirement pay. They've been having series of negotiations with the government. Wow. They've been having series of negotiations with the government. The government has been there promising them go and come so time. They reach agreement. They cancel it. The same thing they did to the NTA workers, where they say, okay, we'll pay your redundancy fee. We'll pay 50%. Then we make stipulation. The next time you come back, we'll pay a 60%, the bottom 50%. The people went there and say no, we'll pay 25%. As if to say there are people who that live with you, that you can decide what to do. You can decide when to get money and spend it. So these retired workers, the video was actually long, but we're putting down low also. We just want to play this clip so you can see that this salary delay or the refusal of government to pay its workers is not only limited to one particular area, it's even in the educational sector. Can you imagine? And this is the effect of what? You know Bo will vote for you. Because if this guy doesn't know Bo, like you people claim, but you'll vote for him, he doesn't know the value of education. He doesn't know what it takes to move from your house as a teacher. We enter instrument and go stand before the classroom. And most of the students in the class, they got millions of dollars. They say now we are instrument for, they are car parking outside, but you have to walk in the ring to come to school. We enter instrument and stand there and teach them.
You know, Linford, before you play the clip, there's something really interesting here. You know, our case that work with McDonald's and they are supervisor. If you replace them with President Weah, they perform better than what he's doing. I'm being honest here.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
The reason why this man have never supervised a little group of people. You take him, say, oh, you know Bo, you don't know Bo. We gave you whole country to manage. And the smart ones that did, those clever people that know the system well, they will sit back and do the bad thing because he never managed anywhere before. You gave him whole country. So you found everybody doing their own thing. But somebody who have managed somewhere before, or like McDonald's, they will perform well. They will know the left from the right, back and front, what is going on. Budgeting. So if somebody who never managed and you carry to say, oh, Chief, what should I do? Chief don't know. And that's the fact. So that's the thing. If you know, but you don't know, but this is what you get. Country is not managed by people who don't know book. You have to know something. You have to have some sort of managerial skills to be able to handle.
How possible is it a country of more than 5 million people that you take somebody who doesn't know book to manage them? Because
thank you. The special screwdriver they put into our head when they turn it, then we don't think properly.
Okay, so we'll roll a short video, and then after that, we'll continue on the discussion.
Yeah, so what exactly is the issue?
The university owns farmer. The university owns farmer. The president made a commitment according to the letter we received on the 7th instant that in 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks, we are going to get our pay. We are not receiving it, and today is the 30th of March. The owner from November to 5 March, I get any tomorrow, it means 5 months.
Yeah, so I said from last
November to March this year.
Okay, so now about how much are we talking about?
It varies.
Okay.
Because all people's salaries at the time of their retirement, I know when you first
yes, yeah.
So you first committed to some of 60%. Others, it depends. The tenure of salary. Mine was 60%. November 30th, 2019, I was retired to receive 60% of my present cross until the residue of
And if you look at the video, there was a man with the white shirt with the cap on his head. That's Professor JJ. He was also interviewed by the journalist, but because of the volume of the video, we couldn't download all. But look at those people. That particular man who was talking, he's I think some kind of dean for student affairs. And that man, when the journalist asked him how long he's been working there, he said he's been working there for more than 40 years. For 40 years, actually the early 70s, when you and I used to go early campus to pick plum, and Mr. Walker would chase us.
Yep.
Can you imagine? And 40 years. So in a good country, the man worked for more than 40 years. And that man was in a prime. Look how old the old man is. That old man was in his prime. He committed his entire life to that particular entity. Most of the people he educated, some of them are even ministers today, even maybe some of them are millionaires. And this is a man.
Precisely. Yeah.
And this is a man, after committing all his life, a lifetime to one particular place, with the hope that when he retires, he will be getting what he deserves. Here he comes to beg for his retirement. And if you listen to the video, the retirement side they're talking about is not anything. We're talking about something like maybe $15 every month, and you owe the man for 5 months.
6 months, 5
6
months.
months, 5 months. Can you imagine?
How you expect him to survive?
And look at the old man, how he looks. And I watched the entire video and I was like, no, this can be real. That there was a lady even telling the journalist, look at I can't put inside so we can face this here. Because they know they were embarrassed. Can you imagine? And folks, when we say these things, people don't understand. Put yourself in the shoes. You President Weah, put yourself in the shoes. You play football, you ran all over the place. The miles you cover in running, a more than 1 trillion miles. Playing for more than 10 years in professional football. Not only the football, the games you play on the football pitch, but the training sessions. If you put all your running, you're running. They match all the steps. In more than 10 trillion steps you took to run around. And if you are depending on your retirement to live, and then you go and people drilling you up and down, go and come. When you go, they don't give you money. How do you feel, President Weah? I mean, put yourself in the shoes of the people.
So Linford,
Yeah.
you said the people decided you know book. You don't know book, will put you there. So they put my good friend there. And my good friend depending on somebody who know book to lead him. That's why my good friend cannot sack few people around him. And this is the situation I'm faced with. And those few people, they are the one that are milking the system. They determine who get paid, when and how, where the money goes, where it's not. Those few persons, they are there. Samuel, the Samuel Twe, the personal claim this is the man, the best educated Liberian on the planet Earth. So the question we need to ask, are they going to go back again to the pool to say the same thing but we don't know, you don't know, but we'll put you there? This is what you get. The people you show in that video, they're supposed to spend time with their grandchildren. The little money they need to receive and have that little cassava, they become beggars in their own country.
And begging for their own money that they are entitled to.
Yeah. If you have not received your retirement money for 6 months, it means the people that you taught in school, you going from office to office, the professor hungry, you begging. So you actually, I mean, you become like you're not somebody in your own country. Or educator, become a beggar.
I hear people say, oh, people don't want to go in certain areas of profession, like teaching, like like teaching. I taught in the classroom for complete 5 years from 1983 all the way to 1988, and I was teaching three different times. One day, I was teaching anybody who live in Lakwasi, a small school right near Barnes Foundation. It's called Building for Tomorrow Institute. I taught at that school in the morning from 1983. In the morning, in the afternoon, then immediately I close in the afternoon. I take a bus from Lakwasi straight to the bypass. I get down and go on to Johnson Road or Buzekwara area there and get to the Barry. There's a school in the Barry called Anna F. Winston, the next
Yeah,
school of
yeah.
I was teaching there. 1983, the coup had just taken place. I had the higher ranking officer, I had my class officer captain. Then I had corporal. I still remember some of them, Jerry Panto, and all these guys. They were my students, military people. And that's when I got to know that military people are well disciplined people.
Yep.
I was 21 years old, standing in front of captains and teaching them and do that pier, where Jordan used to go. I went there. My student, they took me. They introduced me to a BBPO, Great Allison. I shook his hand. They said, "Oh yeah, I'll teach you." And the Great Allison said, "Oh, you're level 8. Let's say that you're okay." And I was trembling. No, but the reason why most people do not let to go in a profession is that teachers do not get rich easily. Journalists do not get rich easily. We promote people, journalists promote people. If you're lucky, like people who will be very smart, like the likes of what the guy in Front Page Africa or what you need.
Ronnie's here.
Okay, Ronnie's here and the likes of Kenneth Pence, yeah, you will survive, you'll make your money. But the reason why people don't let to go in certain profession, like teaching and thing, is because you will make people, you will make leaders, but you will stay down there. You will always remain who you are.
And become beggar, like what
And
the
become
old
beggar,
man
like what
said.
you're saying.
Mhm.
And these people have taught people who are ministers today. Some of them are millionaires, but yeah, see their condition that they have to go and beg for their own money. And the people say they're begging the money from don't know
That
even
the people
equal
they
to them.
taught,
Yeah, they
those
don't.
are
Some of them,
their own students.
okay.
Mhm.
Can you imagine that? Or Jefferson Kweji, who doesn't even know that there are 7 continents, that you say 17 continents, that you have billions of dollars, and these kind of people will go to begging. Can you imagine how disgraced and how unbalanced the whole world we live in is?
The bottom line is, you know, Bo, you don't know, Bo will put you
Will
there.
vote for you. But
That's what they're getting.
But let
So
me tell
it's
you
the
one thing.
people. Yeah.
You know that they're bringing out new song this year. You pay all, you don't pay all, we'll vote for you.
Well,
Expect that
look,
song.
they can come up with any song they want to say. The people on the ground, name for une sedition. I can tell you this for fun. Une sedition. When you tell them, hey, my brother, the president gave command, say your march in the Atlantic Ocean
Then
and just kill yourself, they will do it. Only them believe that it's, but a lot of people are really pissed off with the government, the way things are happening. And it's no, so you talk to people like they're not hiding, they can just say it will happen. This the amount of people that show up to get their voting card, I was amazed. Even young students, people that got their voting card, they're just waiting for that moment. And it's no joke. People are angry. So they can go around, and what the government did, they did a clever thing. They bought, I can say, all the media institution in Liberia. So nobody can talk anything about them apart from Spoon Network that keep pounding them, to be honest. Most of those guys, they only go after opposition. The government, because when you wake up in Liberia here, 7 political parties join the CDC to get the people like mine to be confused. They bought all the media institution, and that is it. But now the interesting thing in Liberia, people who listen to radio, that's another thing that we should take cue of. It mostly those pensioners that are sitting down all day thinking, who am I going to beg today to have food to eat? They can listen to radio. So they keep switching from one radio channel to another channel. That's what they do. But the young people, they're always on the move hustling.
Yeah.
And
They gotta
because
move.
people, because of the hustle, some people they don't have that strength anymore. Peer pressure, they start taking drugs, and then we label them as zogos. That's what's happening. And even the Zocos are taking drugs are so fed up with the government too. So this is if people say they're going to make another song, you pay all, we eat, we'll put you there. There will be a classic one, and the election will tell us that a few months from now.
And like you mentioned the Sogos, and this is one thing that we didn't see during our time when we were growing up. And anytime we made reference to some of these things, people say, oh, your time was not better than our time. Our time was not better, but our time was stable. I mean, our time was stable. We could eat. Neighbors could call their neighbors, invite them over. But nowadays, it's difficult for neighbor to invite. You don't get it.
Look, Linford, the thing is, when you come from school, you and your friend, you go to your friend's house, you eat.
Yes.
You come to your house, you eat. By this time, your friend come in your house, your food be under your bed.
You get it before you high.
Exactly.
So you see, but I mean, it sounds funny, but it's serious. Liberians deserve better. And Liberians, before we leave this topic, let me get Paul gave a closing, but let me just give my closing on this particular topic. Look, these silly songs that we've been singing, you came apart, I'll vote for you. You know, I'll vote for you. You ready to die, I'll vote for you.
Mm-hmm.
These are not in our own interests. No, let me tell you, there is something called the law of nature. The law of nature states, I mean, that's coded well or directly, but it says that you care for yourself first before you can care for other people. I'll give you an example. If were 5 people in a canoe or in a boat going and the boat was sinking, I will not drown to save people. I have to save myself first, make sure maybe I grab onto something, then before I begin to save other people. If we're in jail, 10 people, and they say free 10 people, they can't give me a command, say free 10 people, I'll come myself number 1 first, because I got to be outside to be able to free the other people. But I will not stay inside and count 10 people and put them outside. Then when I reach myself, they say, no, but we said 10 people, you can't make it 11. So the law of nature is self-preservation. Self-preservation. Preserve yourself first. That means keep yourself. Take care of yourself. Look in your own interest. Do not look in the interest of other people. You make them to be better than you, and you remain what you are. They don't care about you. They will trash you like they're trashing garbage because they are better than you. And let me tell you one thing about black men or human beings as a whole. When you are down on the same level, or you're poor, you are all friends. But the moment they begin to handle money, they are above you. They will begin to ride the best of car, you can ride it. They will wear the best of clothes, you can wear it. And since you don't have that kind of clothes, even if your friends, your former friends gather and you want to go there, but you look at yourself, you cannot go there. You'll feel shy. If they gather somewhere, they buy, they drinking, they buying and eating, and you don't have money, what you go do there? Your own heart will tell you that you don't belong there. You see it?
Exactly.
So then, you do not care for other people more than yourself. Let me tell you, I come from a big family, like I have plenty brothers and sisters. But in order for me to be able to help my brothers, I got to make sure I get food in my house first before I help them. You see it? That's not being me. That's not being selfish. It's just the fact about life. You can't be naked and move your own clothes from you and give it to somebody then walking naked. No. What sense does it make? Even the person giving the clothes to the thing is stupid. You know? So, Liberians, when you go to vote, look at the plan of these people. They lie to you. That's why we always play this talking music. They lie to you for all those years. How long? Let me tell you, how you can fool a woman one time to pregnant her, but you can fool her 2, 3 different times, be pregnant in her, leave her, pregnant in her, leave her. Then I mean, the woman said that's wrong. So it's you. Right. They come and lie to you, then you agree, you vote for them. Next time they come again, you suffer somebody, they come again and lie to you. Then you know, look, I've seen a woman who have 14 children at the time, and she was pregnant with the 15th one. Yeah, and I asked her, where's your husband? She said, I don't know where is it. I said, what do you mean? You're divorced? She said, no, we divorced. She said, but the man can come when the baby was you pregnant me, then you go. I said, why you can go? He said, I don't know. I said, so how do you and the children eat? She said, I hear people can help us. So I said, but you can't leave a man. She said, no, our law in our country is you can't get divorced. When you marry, you can't get divorced. You can only separate, and you should have good reason to separate. So I said, but this is a good reason for you to separate. You see it? She said, but no need, because even if I separate, I'll not stay married until I be divorced. No man will want to take me with all the children. You see it? So
And she
you
right.
gotta, you gotta be careful for yourself. You gotta care for yourself first. This is about you. When you vote for people, you don't vote for them because you like them. You vote for them because you want them to help to improve your life. Paul, take it from there. That's my last talk warning to them.
You know, Linford, you said it. You said it all. You said it the way it's supposed to have been said. We're going to election again, and people have to be smart enough to do the right thing. And if you haven't had your salary for 2-3 months, well, why we want to put this guy back into office? The pensioner not getting their money. People are begging a lot in Liberia. So this is about time that they make the right call and look at the best people that can lead the country. So they have proven that if you don't know book, you cannot run a country. So that's simply what we are saying. So I think, yeah, and this will lead us to another topic. So I think the people should make the right decision and vote for the best candidate in the town.
Okay,
That's my
Paul, talking
thought on
about
this.
they should make a bad decision, and that's a hope that we all have. And that decision again hangs on something, and that is who are they going? That because Paul, let's be frank, from all fairness, we all want to get rid of George Weah. But when we get rid of George Weah, who do we bring? You didn't think that question is sensible?
It's a sensible question, and I can answer it for you in a very calm way. Before 2017 election, people were going to churches, mosques, praying that God should send a good leader because we always have corrupt people. People been praying for years. Because people have been praying for years that they want good leader, God decided to say, okay, I will send your own, and your own will come. He's there, he just around the block. And when God sent our own, what they say, oh, the man is too good, he too calm. But he's new. A person that was born in Liberia, grew up in Liberia, grew up in a snow community, did everything so Duka fled like every one of us not so grumpy and oranges and all that. God blessed him with brains. He was able to get out, came back, and he said, oh no, the man is too good, but he just can't. So okay. The very person, he's still there. So he one of the best manager in the world. That a men that have traveled from Liberia, from the slum community, have gone to conquer the business world. God sent him, say, go and help the people. And the people are still blind. Alexander Benedict Cummings, he is there. He is the best that could take over from George Weah and put the country in a better gear, well, I would say gear one, for the other generation to follow and take Liberia to that level that Liberia belongs. So we have that person.
Okay. And I respect your answer, your view. But there is something that has been happening. We don't need to tell any Liberian or explain to any Liberian here what happened from the formation of the CPP and what led to the separation of certain parties from the CPP, because most people say the CPP broke down. No, the CPP did not break down. As Mr. Cummings always make this analogy, like you were on a car traveling and the car broke down, but the car could be fixed. And some people are impatient because they're rushing. They say, okay, I will leave and go. So the rest of the passengers will remain and fix his car and continue the journey. And that's what happened to the CPP. So the CPP is still in existence. And like you said, Liberians, we always make mistake. We are going to jump the gun we are going to take decision, we are going to take side. When there was problem within the CPP, it was expected that certain people within the CPP, namely Mr. Boakai, former VP Boakai, who was the wisest man, or who is supposed to be the wisest man politically, who is supposed to be the elderly man in that group, everybody expected that he was going to take a wise decision by saying, no, listen, what all happened in this CPP? Let's sit down as members of the CPP and discuss it and resolve it. Some people say he did. But even if he did, if your children are quarreling and you say you're stop and they stay quarreling, will you sit down and allow them to fight each other simply because he said stop for the first time and they didn't stop? You should take another step beyond the stop, beyond saying stop. You could probably go there and physically put them apart. But it didn't happen. Rather, Omer Boakai followed the crowd and left the CPP. And most of the people today who are calling for Ojo Boakai and Cummings ticket as the winning ticket, they were the ones on the radio all the time calling, yes, let's walk away. Yeah? Let's walk away. Cummings is a finger. Let's walk away. Blah, blah, blah. And they walked away with the hope that they were going to form something called the Democratic Alliance of Liberia, which would include all political parties in Liberia except the ANC. But that seemed not to be the case. And so now people are getting to realize at the dying minutes, at the last minute, it's just like you want to play a football game and you were playing for the people leading you. You got 10 more minutes in the game. After 80 minutes of play, then you want to put in all your good players. You want to, in fact, the people who you substituted first, who you said were not good players, then you realize you want to bring them back on the field. The referee said no. when you substitute these people, they're not coming back. So, and I hear people calling for this opposition unity, and they are saying the only way that anybody can win President Weah is for opposition to unite. But another thing that puzzles me, when you talk about opposition, we got the LPP, that's Liberian People's Party, headed by Councillor Tiawan Gonglo. We got the all the other parties. Nobody's calling their name to come and go and be VP to Joseph Boakai. But only Cummings can go to be VP to Boakai, okay, before they can win Weah. So, but there's a particular group of people who are carrying this message, and it seems as though this message has taken root in the hearts of the Liberian people. But why do you think people have been pushing this message when they sat down, when they saw the confusion in the CPP and nobody ever made effort? Why now?
Linford, that's a good one. There is a particular media group called Spoon Network. I won't bite my tongue. It's Spoon Network from this the get-go. They started the thing with, Mr. Cummings the finger roll. He finger document. He was this. They had evidence. Stanton Waterspoon took upon himself to run with that campaign. Best known to his ability, right? That he had a platform to use that. Every day it was Mr. Cummings, he and Kev Hassan. They've been running with that story, finger. And when it backfired, because from the day they said they had evidence or everything that this man, he did X, Y, Z. Well, God can have it. Mr. Cummings got through with that. It was a Booker case that he could not have with the government. Remember too, this particular network were also sponsored by Nathaniel McGee, the other guy who stole from us that we have refused to send a quote. I don't use the word corruption on people who can steal. that the American accused of stealing from us, those tiffy roll, they were behind it as well. Fast forward, when the Stanton men who were behind this story calling someone a fingerer, and he also been accused of fingering of federal government, which he have to face. He have not seen it. He appeared on a program few months, sometime last month, and then started a campaign again with this thing that, oh, this man that he claimed that, oh, you remember he used to have the opinion poll that, oh, Cummings can only get one vote. That was him. It was that particular network again. Every day they had a poll, Cummings would not get one vote because nobody knew him in Liberia. He came on his program instead of worrying about his fingering the U.S. government where he dealt with them. He come back again that Cummings will go as number 2 to GMB on what ground? And this is what his network is running with on what ground? The men they took to court to punish, to kill his political career. They connive with the government to prosecute him, that he must go begging. Somebody who decided to stab him in the back to go begging for VP shift on what ground? Did he come into the race to run to beg somebody to be VP? It's a competition. Tomorrow election here, whoever wins become the president of Liberia. Nobody gonna go behind someone and say, oh, without a man, he can't be president. This very man they're talking about, George Weah, flocking big time with over, I call it landslide, or not be landslide, maybe mudslide. Beat him badly. If he could win election, why he didn't beat George Weah? That somebody forced to go honor him as his running mate. By the way, this old man, he's supposed to be that professor at LU asking for his pension. He's supposed to be home, relaxing with grandchildren and great-grandchildren. Why is he doing the race in the first place? And he told us that he's not well. He need to go for surgery because the last election, it was based on the pressure. He had problem with his heart. They had to do pacemaker. And we'll play that clip for you later on. Why should Mr. Cummings go behind the men that have no agenda for the country to beg him to be? So that propaganda spoon network is running with. It's their own agenda. And I would say to Stanton, he should sit back for a court case and stop worrying about Mr. Cummings. If Cummings become president, so be it. If he does not become president, so be it. It's a competition. Whoever wins will accept that person at the end of the day. You cannot force somebody to someone who decided, who actually wanted to murder him, because I call it murder. Some of y'all work together, you join with the government to prosecute somebody. You know what that means? If Cummings was not strong enough, he could have gotten heart attack. That Uncle Joe went to the court to say, oh, I don't even know this man, like what Judas did with Jesus Christ. And this is the guy that Waterspoon and other pushing. He must go back. So based on that, it just, as it come, it will just die on arrival. They will talk when they see people go to their convention the end of this month. When they pick their running mate, all the nonsense will stop. They will go to that competition. If the old man see fit, he need to go begging, come and say, I want to be on your team. Let me be your advisor. Saying I spend my time in government for 55 years and Liberia have not moved anywhere. Let me advise you. This is how we used to steal in government here, and this is the loophole for Cummings to be able to plug all the loophole for people to start stealing. It's not a time that people running some city talking about he must be number 2 to somebody for what ground. He's not forced to be president. The man sell his idea. This is the way he's going to move Liberia forward. If Liberia don't like it, they can go back to the people who've been stealing from them. And GMB is no exception to that stealing group. The government he worked in since the Thomas time up to this time, they all been stealing until all they go on then to tell all what he did with the money that he was getting for the disabled people, the money he was getting for the lottery, and the money that he was getting from his office, what he did with it, then we know he clean. But they are all thieves. Nobody gonna beg a thief to be number two. I hold my peace on this.
Okay. and this brings me to another question where I'm not asking you this question, but I'm asking those people who believe that only a GMB and Communist ticket can win Weah. There are a few questions I want to ask. They have consistently said that Mr. Cummings is Mr. Nobody. Nobody knows him. He's a stranger. Even the very GMB said that we can't give this country to a stranger.
Exactly.
One. Number two, he said the man got 7% in the vote. Then, but they can boast of Prince Johnson, who also had 8% in the past vote. So what is the disparity between 7 and 8? Okay, it's 1. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
So, but they can say if Prince Johnson will bring what they got in Jeremiah Kun, then Vaka will win. So why you can't go take a Jeremiah Kun? So why you want the 7% made to country? 7%. It's not. In fact, some people say, "Oh man, that 7% are reduced." Fine, very good. Because after election, commissar and he put a hand between there, he called himself one take blanket.
Exactly.
He's snoring. He's not talking to nobody.
Mm-hmm.
So it's 7% are reduced. We agree. So why people? And I hear Liberian people. I listen to Spoon Talk, National Spoon Talk, all the other show then. Hey, why Mr. Cummings refused to? The word refused. It means as poor I offer you. I say, take this thing. You say no. Or come and do this thing. And you say, but JMB cannot show one piece of record, video, letter, and telephone call that he called coming and say, I want you to be my VP. And VP, nobody can run for VP shape. Nobody can say, oh, please let me be your VP. Coming did not come to be a VP. They all went into the CPP as equals, regardless of how many votes you got in the past elections. They went into the CPP as equals, political equals. And the only way, according to their document at that time, the only way, saying they were all equals, the only way they were supposed to select the hair was to go through a primary or the VPS or whatever, black voting or whatever. And all those things, all consensus. All those things did not happen. So then they all remain equals politically, as far as we are concerned, because they all broke away, they went their way, so they all remain equal politically. Okay, so on what ground and what method are Liberian people using to select Coming to be vice president?
Linford, the thing here is it started with the government. That was the government propaganda from day one. And when the government started, remember, Acedo used to be on Spoon Network. They started the propaganda that, Cummings is just got 7%. The only way he can do the CPP, he must go as running mate to JMB. It's the government propaganda because the government knows they have a lot of debt on JMB. So for Cummings not to run as the one they afraid of, let him go honor JMB. Now, this government propaganda been around for a while now. But why is it now Spoon Talk decided to run with the government propaganda that started? What is their intent? Why Spoon himself, he's not worried about his court case, but he worried about Cummings being number 2 to JMB. What behind it? What the motive? There's competition here. JMB ran away from the primary. That's why they took Mr. Cummings to court to prosecute him. Because when we go to the primary, this man got vision, he got money, his ideas. I cannot match my ideas with him. It better I leave. He ran away. So why are they coming back? JMB never sat with Cummings and say, I want you to be my running mate. They left. They said they were going to form this big thing called DAL, D-A-L. They had all the green bull, the yellow bull, all these parties were going to come under them, and then they were going to win the government. When the government taught them serious pepper them in Lofa County, they came back and started running, oh, let Cummings be. Cummings will not be. These people are heartless people. They don't care for Liberia. And because they don't care for Liberia, what's going to happen in the election? This is tournament. Whoever wins will live for it for the next 6 years. You see, the old man.
The people say who talking about not continue, but the people say who talking about Cummings going as as vice president to JMB. They sat down there. Costa with all the big muffs. He was making all the noise that the day JMB temper to say he working with Cummings, that same day I'll leave him. And the same Costa want to be JMB vice president. Why are they worried? So they got vice president already.
Exactly. And this is the guy that I personally support for the old man to pick.
Yeah, I want him to be the vice president.
Because what happened here, Costa is a young man, and the young people that are running with the thing. Look, that is the filing for me and you. Pretty soon will be in retirement. We cannot say we want government job or do something that Costa then supposed to be taking over.
Yeah,
so the old man, when he pick Costa, I would be delighted to have Costa as his running mate, because why? He have given green light to the young folks that are going to learn from him, going to learn the bad behavior, the way they govern since the 1950s and up to now. Ali Costa have never worked before. He always been behind the speaker and talk crap. So he could learn the crafty behavior from this old man, and then he can lead, or he could be the next Joel, because Costa is very arrogant. And in the Liberian setting, you need an arrogant young person to lead. So my support for Costa, for this man to pick Costa, is overwhelmed. And I'm really going to push this thing for the old man to pick Costa and start worrying about Mr. Cummings. Yeah, the 7% do his own thing. But say he get 400,000 vote, picking Costa that everybody know in Liberia, there should be a landslide. So we don't need Mr. Cummings. Why they calling his name? Let the 7% do his thing. Okay. Isn't that right?
And those same people calling for Mr. Cummings to go to GMB. Now, they formed something called CPP. And like we said, the CPP did not break down, but there were people who left the CPP and again applying the breakdown car or the broken down car as the example. I was driving my old pickup from Norway to England. Some people say, yeah, they want to sit down on the pickup. I said, okay, let's go. We cross Sweden, we cross Denmark, going to Germany, the pickup breakdown. Some people say, okay, we're rushing to go to England, so we're going to take train to go. Because when we take a train, at least the train will go fast. Then some people say, no, they pick up, we all got in from Norway, we're going to England. And it broke down, so we'll leave with it there to fix the pickup so we can go. Then the people who decided to take a train to go, when the train can reach England, in fact, the train going way a different country, they get down, and where they getting down, no other car there for them to go. They stop. Then they say, now we're waiting for the man with the old pickup to come so you can carry on again. So since that's the case, if JMB feels, or the people who support JMB feel that the only way JMB can become president is for Cummings to work with him, and the only way Cummings can become president is for him to go as VP. So then let JMB come back and forget about the Unity Party and can join Cummings.
That's another thing.
In the CPP. Let him come back to the CPP. Let him pack oil from the DAL or whatever for me and say, I'm carrying my UP back to the CPP. And when they can't, then we'll go for primary. Again, because when he can't, Mr. Cummings will be generous. Mr. Cummings will not say, okay, can't be honor me. Saying you ran away from the CPP, coming back, can't be honor me. I want to be my vice president, but when he can't, we'll go for primary. He agree? Fine.
My man, the men don't like competition.
Oh, so then what you do?
So he get his surrogates to go, oh, yo, but he afraid to go bring this topic to Mr. Cummings. Oh, can't be my running mate. The question is on what ground?
Yeah.
Yeah, me and you go into the tournament. I want to win the county. Me, I'm going to be I'm on what? So Ronald say, oh yeah, I'll go for the runner, or you just have the trophy. It makes sense. So those guys, I don't know, sometimes people can smoke some pipe before they think and come up,
But
and they go and back, say the people
it's
resolve.
like
If the
Brazil.
people resolve, the old man will be the next president.
Yeah.
Hallelujah. So why you want to force somebody else to be? And he gonna be the, and he's sitting down in a rehab community, and everybody agreed that he will be the next president. So why do they want somebody else to join him?
And you know, when they talking, they talk with so much confidence. You know, the only way coming, they can really get to me. The only way Cummings can become president is for him to go on a GMB. What? So GMB, when the presidency, it's just like you get your farm, they farm for you. Then he say the only way,
My man, look,
I don't
before
understand.
they think it not only you, it get to me too. And I will
Yeah.
tell you something here. The tribalism in Liberia is a bad thing. And why am I saying this? Another guy who joined ANC, Yeka Koluba, he joined ANC when it came to this time around that campaign for your candidate that you said, no, I can't do it because my uncle over there, I can't campaign against my uncle. He's the same one that is now writing things that might be Cummings and GMB unity. But when his uncle took Mr. Cummings to court, he could not say a word. Every time they asked him, he said there'll be CPP. So these guys, I mean, I don't know where our country has come to. That the lack of reasoning sometimes it puzzles me. So the other 7%, let's stick with the 7%. When he get 1% out of the 7%, that's what God wants. And that's what Liberians want. This old man who been around since 1950 when he had his first job, if he's the one going to change Liberia, that democracy, they will live with it for the 6 years. But don't force somebody on him because he desperate to be president. When Ellen told them, say, look, it's time we pack up, we leave because they only have one term and they decided to go two, then he won't go to tier one. It's about time that he pack up and go into some kind of care home, my brother. That's how I see it. And I wouldn't waste my time behind this old man because there are a lot of things about him. He does not speak out. He vindictive like other people in the Liberian political setting. Look in his friend R that helped him for over 40 years because he's so desperate for power, telling him, I do not know this man. So I wouldn't waste my time on these guys, honestly.
And you know, there are a lot of there are a lot of things to be said. Sorry, there are a lot of things to be said, but the people, those that are pushing this line, the question that they don't answer is why didn't they talk from the early stages of the CPP fracas? Why didn't they put end to it? That
But Linford, how would they put into it? They were the very people that were behind it. It would not hold. Because when the government whipped them in Lofa County, that's what made them to panic, say, oh, we made a mistake. And the old man, you see, sometimes the old man full of this deception that carrying him. He promised Yomli to be VP. She broke her own party apart. He went close though to Prince Johnson, asking for Jeremiah Kuhn. Then he discussing with Henry Costa too on the other side. So all of these people now, what's happening to this old man? The old man has deceived all of them.
Yeah, so what's going to happen now? Because normally too, she's left in the coup seemingly. Then Costa too want to take over the show because Costa had done the dirty work. It was Costa who actually broke down the CPP. He contributed a lot. Okay, even though Beno Nayure took Mr. Cummings to court, but Costa publicized the whole thing and broke down the CPP. Remember, and I follow Costa all the time. He made a series of statements, some of which didn't go down well with me personally from the start of this whole CPP thing. Costa sat on his show and said, We will not be spectators. We will be stakeholders in the CPP.
He was right.
The old people not coming to tell us what to do. We will be there with them. They will not leave us outside to go in the house and decide on our behalf and can't tell us. We will be stakeholders. And at that time, nobody in the CPP talk against it. None of them, the 4 leaders, none of them talk against it. So they gave him ground. He started rooting. He started putting, terrorists in the interior part, they go in the forest. You will see this, you will see a big tree, but you see another tree that sit down on it and wrap around the rope.
Yeah.
When that thing start newly, you can just start as a small little grass. It start growing, then the root start growing around the big tree.
Yeah.
You know, big tree on the killing. That's what Costa did. He came in the CPP and he made a statement, and nobody took any clues as to why he meant, until it reached a point where he sat down and single-handedly destroyed the CPP. And he said he had a motive, and that motive was JMB had promised him that he would lift him up politically. So he wants JMB to win so that he can go up. And this is what is coming to light now when Costa wants to be vice president. Now, people say Cummings does not have experience. At least Cummings has worked. Even if he worked out of Liberia, but he worked with a group of people. But where has Costa worked? Yeah, Costa may have a radio station that people are in, but that's not a work. He runs a business for himself. So if you can take a Cummings who ran a whole global entity, you take a man who sat behind the microphone with a few hungry guys behind him, and because they're all hungry, anything say they agree to, so then you will prefer him over a man who ran the whole world, practically. But again, the reality was setting. They thought when they leave the CPP, they were going to form this big democratic alliance where all the parties would just fall on, we're coming, coronate GMB, we're coming. And then when I hear people, I listened to the last edition of Spoon Talk the morning, and they were like, people were discussing different things about Reginald Goodrich and what happened between Joshua. When some people call that Cummings and GMB ticket, they talk about, that one we Liberia people won now. That now you won it? Long time. Where were you people? That now you're yaking to Liberia? No,
but you see, Linford, that's what I'm saying. Our people is like someone takes screwdriver, put it in the brain, and turn it the other way that they don't think logically. Now, you decided to vote for somebody, say, you know will put you there. The man who don't know book now, teaching you how to live a life that when you know book, this is what can happen. Now there's very people calling for somebody who Costa claimed that one foot in the grave must be the one to rescue the nation. Like, we don't have people in Liberia that have come to that level, high level. So these very people, because screwdriver have gone into their head, they now calling for something that will be very, very bad for the country. We know that if he becomes vice president, JMB himself said it, he can become a park race car. Joy Howard Taylor, lately, she said it, that I don't know what I did to these people. But I love Joy Howard Taylor. The people who don't know, but she made it clear, y'all come and join us. This is our time to steal.
To eat.
Because JMB then on a time, they stole enough. So this is our own time to steal. Y'all come and join us. So this nonsense about, the people resolve. If the people resolve that the ticket they want, that ticket not going to happen. So they can go and put George Weah back and continue suffering. Because send that hair screw, all they know what to do, that would be the best solution. Send it get common sense in them. Putting these two people, the man I wanted to kill his friend, he must go beg the one I wanted to kill him. It makes sense. I don't know.
By the time they become president, then they grab him, they say, you want to go through the government?
Yes.
They allocate him or put in jail.
They prosecute him. And then there's a word, there's big word they can use in English.
They prosecute him. Then when time
comes, I want to use that big word.
Then all of them, they see people who calling today, they say, that man, The man finger talking man, that man die away. He can do that kind of
Oh,
thing.
the
No,
man
let me
won't
tell
kill
you.
the old man.
Yeah, let me tell you.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, Paul. I've said it, and I'm the same way they are resolved. I'm resolved. Some of all are resolved. No, I will go for Okomi presidency until Okomi go to the ballot box. He get one person. That one person will be me plus him. That two. Let him lose as Okomi at the ballot box. Then we wash our hands and move from there. Then I can look for the next president now. Because when Okomi say, okay, I lost, say I lost the election and not running again, then I say, okay, then I can look for another candidate in the 2029 election. But as long as Cummings is still alive and he wants to run as a Cummings, I will go with him. You lost, we lost. I'll be a proud loser that at least my candidate lost or my candidate won. Not to go under somebody, because when they go, if they don't win, Cummings go with GMB and we have beaten. You know what they'll say? Oh, but Cummings will not have him no more. He made a bad choice. And they blame me Nukwe today. Say, oh, Nukwe was bad for our president. You're not good candidate. The one Joga won and you see it. And this particular unity party, they don't take blame. When all the good things from Ellen government come out, they say, yeah. But then when the bad one come, they say, no, our packer. You see it? So the old man getting is smart. And again, Liberian people say they can not vote for the people who know or who they know or who know them. And when the person know you, he can use a hey work on you. The old man know that Liberian people stupid, so he can use hey work on them because he know him. You see it? So personally, I'm resolved. Coming go to the election. You get one person that me plus himself that two. Coming will not get zero because he voting for himself, so you get one person. He can't get zero. So let the other people get that number, go and win. But nobody going on anybody here. The handwritings are on the wall. If Coming wants to live long, he should not try. Number one, he get money. Number two, he will not take nonsense from any president. The Mr. President, then he be first president, he will not take nonsense because he will want the plan that he got to be fulfilled. And that president will say no, confusion will come. Right there, he want to overthrow government. The president has all power. You grab a man, jail him. We saw how to kill Western then. Put that there. So, no, let me tell you. The handwritings are on the wall. Unless people who do know history will sit there and allow history to repeat itself in front of them in a different way. But if you know history, when it's coming, you can leave it far off and read the pages before they are even rating.
Exactly.
If you are a real good student of history, you can leave the story far off before it even becomes history. That story that will happen, you can leave it far off and know it and read it before you can even be rating to become history.
Exactly.
Story never become history until it becomes history.
So I mean, you said it all, brother. Send the people, the man, the 7%. Let them leave the 7%. Yeah, he do his own thing.
Yeah, let him go with 7%.
Yeah, the man get that 7%. Yeah, 1% down their business.
Yes.
The 7% not desperate to back anyone, so they should just let the 7% go, and the 7% will do what is right. Why are they worrying about the 7% is a very big question.
Yeah, the only way they can win until the 7%. All the other we get 20 some more political party. Why all they can go together? That only they want man, the 7% you'll see.
Only the 7%. Because the 7%.
You know, the surprising thing, the good thing here is that none of them will ever say, oh, come is a bad leader. They will say he's a good man, but let him go. As if, this is the silly part that can, I know the international community, our foreign partners, they laughing at all again. What? How can you say the only way somebody can become president is to go honor a particular person who himself, let's just say GMB is already the president, that the only way I can become president, I should go as vice president. Absolutely. The man fighting to be elected. He's not elected yet. Then you assume that he's the president, and the only way that person can become president after him is to go honor him when he has not even won. So he lost.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so two of them lose now. What happened? So me coming cannot become president. Become, yeah.
And the government that been running with the propaganda, the government sitting down there waiting for this to happen. So
but the government lost. They know the weak thing.
And they say they people going with it, oh, yeah, the 7%. And it's the government propaganda. Why are they running with the government propaganda? So
Yeah,
they
because
said they want, because they know GMB will now win, so they want the government to win.
yeah.
And that's the motive behind the whole thing. You see?
So,
That's the motive. Wow.
but anyway,
Interesting people.
yeah, I think our time is fast spent, so we can just wrap up.
Yeah, before we wrap up, there's
Uh,
something, the dollars and the pounds and all that really been struggling.
mhm.
And I don't know if you heard about this, the BRICS nation
Yeah,
that have now
Brazil, Russia, India,
India, China,
China,
and then
and
South Africa.
Cuba. Yeah, South Africa. Yeah,
South Africa. And
yeah.
this have been causing, and they are actually gaining strength. So I just wanted to educate our people that are following us to have an idea what is happening with this brick nation. So I
Mhm.
just want to share a little bit of clip from that I pick up from the internet. So before to ask Facebook that we don't have a copyright to this
Mhm.
before we play it,
Mhm.
it would be a good thing that people follow to find out what is happening. Why is it the US dollar today now, the ground I had, the bricks is actually disturbing it? So I don't know what you think. Should something we could look at it and
Yeah,
talk
yeah,
about
sure,
it
sure. Because
a,
this
a,
is
a, a little
as
bit?
yeah, as a platform and as people who are in the information business, it is our social responsibility as well to let
Right.
people know, because things that affect the livelihood of thousands and millions of people, it should be publicized. And like you said, Facebook, this is not our work. It was just something
Mhm.
that was cued from the internet. So we thought to share it with our audience, and so we're not taking the right to that, and so we're giving the rightful ownership to the people who did it.
Right. So on that note, Facebook, we do not have copyright for this, so please don't block us. I'm gonna play this.
About an interesting group of countries that are shaping the global economy, the BRICS nations. But before we dive in, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. So, what exactly are the BRICS? BRICS is an acronym that stands for Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. These 5 emerging economies have been identified as having significant influence on regional and global affairs due to their economic growth, population size, and geopolitical importance. Now let's take a closer look at each of these countries. Brazil. Known for its vast natural resources, Brazil is the largest country in South America. Despite facing economic challenges in recent years, Brazil remains a key player in global trade, especially in agriculture and commodities. Russia. With abundant natural resources and a powerful energy sector, Russia is a major player on the global stage. Its political influence and strategic position in Eurasia make it an important member of the BRICS group. India. Boasting the world's second-largest population, India has experienced rapid economic growth in the past few decades. Its burgeoning middle class, technological innovation, and skilled workforce are driving its continued development. China. As the world's most populous country and second-largest economy, China is a global powerhouse. Its rapid economic growth, huge manufacturing base, and expanding international influence make it a critical member of the BRICS. South Africa. Though smaller in population and economy compared to the other BRICS nations, South Africa is the gateway to the African continent. Its political stability and rich natural resources make it an important player in the global economy. Together, the BRICS nations represent over 40% of the world's population and account for about 30% of the global GDP. They are working towards reducing their dependence on the US dollar and established institutions like the International Monetary Fund, IMF, and the World Bank. In fact, they've created their own development bank, the New Development Bank, to finance infrastructure projects and support sustainable development in their respective countries. As the BRICS nations continue to grow and evolve, their influence on the global economy and geopolitics is expected to increase. It's essential to keep an eye on these countries and the challenges they face as they navigate the complexities of the 21st century.
So I just want to bring that out to our viewers because it's something that is actually moving fast, and other countries, because they'll be sharing their thinking goal. So their aim is to weaken the US dollar. So if people go traveling and they do exchange and they find out how come the dollars and the pounds are low, those are the things that they are actually looking at. The merger of the BRICS nation is something that we should all keep our eye on. So I
Okay,
just want to, yeah.
and that was good that you brought it. And this is global issue, and I think, like we said before, it is our social responsibility to also share these kind of things. But let me tell you, Paul. I mean, I think we can wrap it around it a little bit. And if you look at the BRICS nations, they all have specific things to do according to that clip. And I am in the maritime industry, and I know for sure that everything, 99% of what we use in the West come from the East. And the East, in maritime trade, there is something we call East-West bound trade. East-West bound. Now, you live in the UK. If there's a port around you, take a walk at the port and you'll see a lot of containers parking. Those containers, they are empty containers. You cannot get them back to the East easily. Because, and I'll tell you what happened. Like I said, 90% of what, or 99% of what we use in the West come from the East. China and the rest of the countries in the East. China being number one. So you got 150,000 TEU coming from China with goods in a container. Then you dump it, starting from UK, all the European countries, and then all the way to Africa. Those containers include TV, radio, cell phone, clothes, all this kind of thing. And those containers are empty. So what does Africa or Liberia have to put in a container to take it back to China that China will be interested in? Zero. Zero. You can't put IO that Liberia guy, you can't put in its shape and carry it there. Zero. And then in the container shipping, if you take empty container, you put it in the shape because you're not paying for the container. You pay for the slot. It's just like passing your car. They see you say that in, I said you pay for. If you take empty container and put it in the shape, $1 million inside, that's zero inside, you pay the same amount that you pay for a full container.
Oh, yes.
So who's willing to take a empty container carry way back to China for a huge amount of money? That's why you see all the containers in the West. So the reason I'm telling you this thing is that the BRICS nation, with China as the sole producer of the consumables that we have in Europe or in the West as a whole. Let me tell you, my friend, if the BRICS nations actually become serious in the form of single currency, it's going to be a tough game for both America and Europe. And the reason is that
you see, this what happened now. Singapore, Malaysia, and other countries in Asia, they also want to. They call it emerging economy. They want to. Yeah. So all of this, it will have serious.
Yeah, that's the Eastern bloc right there. Okay, so look at Singapore, which is one of the best countries in Asia right now. Hong Kong, my friend, Hong Kong is small, but they are shaping nation. And I will tell you something. The strategic, like I told you, most of all the countries in the BRICS, they are all specific. I mean, the strategic, and they got specific things to do. If you listen to the video, you will hear that South Africa, though it is the smallest member of the BRICS,
but it's the gateway.
It's the gateway. And what do you mean by the gateway? Africa is a virgin country when it comes to economy. Economic activities. Africa needs more than America will need. Africa needs more than Europe will need in terms of goods and whatever, goods and services. So China and the rest of the BRICS nations, they are saying, no, listen, don't worry. Say we the Chinese and the Indian, we got the technology, we'll produce things. Okay? If America doesn't even want us to carry our thing to sell to them, we have look at the position of South Africa. South Africa is surrounded by two oceans, the Indian
Yeah.
Ocean and the Atlantic Ocean. Okay, so that's a gateway. So sea trading will be no problem, and sea trading is even cheaper than air trading. Okay, so come with all your goods from China and dump it in South Africa, and what you do, you connect the African countries with road network, train and whatever. Or in fact, Africa is even surrounded by sea. So you dump it to South Africa and then distribute both through the Atlantic and the Indian Ocean and come to Egypt. So you see, they are very strategic. And then tell me, so where will America go to batting? Because China will say, oh, our thing will not come to America again, we get enter in where? In Africa. We improve Africa. Africa will be a cool country. So if America wants, because if you are driving your Mercedes Benz in England, go to America, the bread there is quite different, and they all come from China. Okay, so if the Chinese say, well, we're not going to America again to make any trade. So if America wants to buy from us, they got to use our currency, the BRICS currency. Remember, in that video, they are saying that they're going to have their own bank. Okay,
The BRICS Bank, yep.
Uh-huh.
Development Bank.
Fine. So what will happen now? Where will America go? They will be forced to buy in their currency. I think I heard that Gaddafi wanted to do similar thing for Africa.
Gaddafi wanted for all Africa to have one currency in gold.
Yeah. So if you want to trade with us, we don't want your money. We got to pay the value of our gold.
Gold, yeah.
You see it? So then I think, like you said, it's going to be a tough game. I'm not an economist. I'm just a little.
But so the reason why I said that it's good that we share with our audience also. In our country called Liberia, they say if you know book, go put it there. You have to know book to understand the geopolitics. If you don't know book, they put you in a seat, you know what to do. Yeah. This is exactly where I decided to play that. So the geopolitics that are taking place now, why you think Kamala Harris is just running around Africa the few times?
Yeah.
Because the BRICS nation are giving America a tough time. And not only America, you see the UK, what I live in, the same thing. The pressure is on. So, America were against the euro because of this. Now the BRICS nation coming out, that's a hellish. Because that currency now, they really want to devalue that currency.
Yeah, but the euro is going to become nothing now. And let me tell you one thing. Let me tell you one thing. When the idea of the euro came up first, I sat for a long time. I told some friends, I said, well, this is just a joke. I live in the US. You live in the US, the only country on earth with huge population, with one monetary policy, one language, is the United States of America. Great Britain, the number of people in Great Britain is just equal to maybe the number of people in New York alone. The population of Great Britain.
No. We get about 70 million people live on this island.
Okay.
And London and New York, London is about 10 million people.
Okay. Yeah, but the comparison I'm making is that in any case, America is populated more than America.
Where you get almost 300 to 400 million people, you're right.
Yeah. So, and if you look at it, all the people there, they're using one currency, which is a dollar. But come to Europe, and there is nothing in the first place. Let me tell you, if you're smart, you can look at the geopolitics. People talk about, how you call it, Euro and Schengen area and all the black and white. That's nonsense. Now, there is nothing like EU, European Union. That's zero. That's just a name. It's just a paper. The only union I know in the world is America. One, you got 50 states in America. They all use one currency. They got one language. They got one international interest. Now, come to Europe. England, what are you using in England? You're using pound, right?
Yeah.
England is one of the strongest, in fact, the strongest country in Europe.
Because it's been the financial capital of the world.
France using what? Franc. Now they start using euro. Then you come to Norway. Norway is now a member of the EU, but we are in the EU era. We use Norwegian krona. Swedish just joined the EU. they stay using Swedish krona.
Exactly.
So go to all the other small European countries. Everybody got their own financial interests. They got different currencies. So what is the loyalty to the EU? They got different languages. Eh? Swedish people, they are Swedish people. You can't make them to be Norwegian. You can't make them to be English people. You can't make Lithuanian people to be Latvian people. Estonia cannot be Ukraine. They will not speak Ukraine. They go there learn it, but they cannot. So tell me, what is a unity here? So EU is just a fig of something on the paper called EU, but the real union is the United States of America. So what America does is it confuses the other small countries or the other countries like in Europe and thing to make them to copycat them to think that okay, we are all one, we got one interest. But America is not promoting our own interest. How many times you hear Great Britain going to go establish something like NATO in America or some military something in America? No. But America can come to other European countries and say, anyway, this is war politics. I don't want to go deep into it.
Yeah, but that's why the BRICS nation now, and look at those nations, they are huge in terms of population. Population, they're huge.
Yeah. And
China, Russia, Brazil.
They are smarter. Look at the Indians.
Yeah.
Everywhere, no, in Norway, everywhere.
No, so look at the two countries in the world, China and India, that have the highest number. Then you are Russia. Then you are Brazil. Then South Africa. This is strategic.
Yeah, and all like we said before, all smaller European, or Asian countries will be, adding up because when they see that the Chinese are rising, they say, oh, but we got no choice. And eventually, it's going to be like the East against the West.
And something happened the day before yesterday. The Saudi now are buying product in the Saudi money. They and China exchanging their money. They're not using the US dollar to buy things from China. So you see the level of which they're going. They want to weaken the dollars. We all need to watch out what is happening. And this is where the geopolitics that will need people in Liberia that understand the geopolitics and understand business, and will have one of our kind, one in the world. Alexander Benedict Cummings, he understands that because he lived and he worked in it. Liberia, we don't need somebody who they'll say, oh, I know Bo, you know Bo, there. This is not about it. It's not about somebody who been popular because since the 1950s when Eddie Pickett said can be my running mate. So no, we need people who understand it.
Let me get out to what you say, Paul. You know what's going to happen if the BRICS, if they relative root and they begin to strangle the US dollar, and even the euro or whatever, you know what will happen? America now is beginning to experience monetary inflation. They'll have so much money with nothing to buy. So you know what they'll do? They'll look at the poor countries in Africa like Liberia and thing.
Liberia, exactly.
And food their leadership with money. Because American dollar will become useless. In a sense. So they'll bring it and say, look, listen, America, if they dump that money on you, they will not give it to you free. They know the money get valued in their country, but say you need it, they say, look, we need this. Like they call our mayor recently, we don't know, some people are saying that they want to establish African. It's simple. This is a struggling government where the people have stolen all the money from the coffers. So they say, look, we'll give you 100 million. We'll give you 400 to 500 million. And that 400 to 500 million in America.
100 years to pay back. So our great-grandchildren will continue suffering.
So we'll rush for it.
Yeah.
Our leader will rush for it. When they take it now, then the handcuff, the financial handcuff on our hand will be in that shackles for years, whereby they know that money that giving all will not be valued in a few years, will not be valued for them. So, again, we got to think far ahead. So when you say the person doesn't know book or they know book, you vote for them, you got to think. Because you take one Joe Blow who you know book, you go put him there, you love him.
But Lincoln, do you know that the ECOWAS have a currency? But Liberia will not be member of that currency until the resetting criteria.
Yeah.
You know that? So this is not about joking now that people can, popularity. Boy, Liberia need to think smart and strategic. We are in the global environment. We cannot exclude ourselves by being outside. Look at the censor. the war cannot give their population because of Liberia stay behind. Everybody submitted their own report. So what are we 7 billion people on the planet? We don't know because people in Liberia decided to put people into office that don't know book. So we struggle with everything. I mean, this is sad, and I think they should make a sound decision and put the rightful person there. But having said that, Mr. Cummings is gaining ground in Liberia. This is where now putting the fear in the spines of those pioneers people that hate Liberia because they love Liberia. In America, the huge Liberian community, nobody know the exact number, but I think they're over 1 million plus there. But those people, some of them, they don't like the good ones. Those that made it, they don't like them. The hatred comes from them, and then it leads into Liberia. Somebody like Cummings who have made it right in their nose, they hating so much in America. Something that we're not paying attention to.
And Paul, let me tell you, it may not be hatred in a sense, like real hatred.
I mean, jealous.
Yeah, jealousy. And again, it's like, hey man, we all come to America, right? We all kind of we hustle when it get tough. We see, my man, I get my education going by Africa to go make my living. Then you get one guy, and that's a state of school that we go, we play Libisha, we come from America, or the few that in Liberia who know small things, they go, they play Libisha and they rob our people. Then you get one guy who came, he hustle too, he gain something, at least he balance. He not like the rest of us. Then the man want to go send in our Gary. The man say we gotta do things straight. So it's not like they really hate him, but the man was sporting. So they say no. The man, my man, it was
they mean well for Liberia.
Yeah.
That's why they don't mean well for Liberia.
Yeah.
So it just show you, and Musa Bedete said this on one of his interview. He said when Liberians, they get all the degrees, most of them get plenty degree, they can't work in the area they got a degree in. The moment little opportunity get into they go to Liberia because they never work like people that cost them and they won't be president. What you think they will do? You never worked before in your life, then you won't go rule people. You end up stealing. And this is what happened to my good friend and his government.
And can you imagine mentioning the legs of Costa? Look at the kind of people that behind him. When he's walking, hero, the kind of people walking behind him. So when
somebody who never worked before say, I
he
will
gets
be
into
president.
power tomorrow. He gets into power tomorrow. Then those same kind of people that one they will take a point in office. So what's the difference between they and George Weah?
So what kind of love we love our country? If you follow other countries around us, the way and they skill the people, what this guy got for me that will benefit me in 4 years, 5 years. But in Liberia, they claim somebody to be hero who never worked before, and now he's my choice for VP to pick him. And the old man must pick Costa.
My man, your old man in hot water. That's all I can say.
And that will be the team.
Your old man is in hot water. That's all I can say.
You see? And Costa is not happy with Spoon running with a nonsense about Cummings must go beg Omer Burka. And the Omer already get Costa on his side. You see what I mean? So the Omer must pick Costa, will go to the race.
That's what I'm saying. Your Omer is in hot water. Now, when you leave my pastor sister, my half pastor sister.
Oh, my man, you saw the pastor sister, she and her boyfriend, they were hand in hand.
That was not business. That was not business. But what I'm saying,
my man,
my interest is let him kill my pastor sister.
But the pastor sister, I don't think she wanted to anymore. She in love with Dylan now. I said the people are holding hand in hand.
Yeah, my man.
I saw the thing. I said, so the pastor sister, she's not running campaign anymore.
Remember, we are both great grandchildren there. We are both great grandchildren there.
I know that. So she's not running campaign to be VP anymore. She just behind this guy back to back. And the light that became dim.
That one, I see. I'll check with my sister and my brother. But
she made a guy to dim the light.
Yeah, boy. See, let me tell you one thing. That some people you supporting Costa to be the woman for
I
president. Me, I'm
supporting
supporting my
Costa.
sister.
He's my man.
Yeah, but
Rescue too.
me, I'm supporting my sister too.
My man.
Mm.
They think your sister you may support, but my man rescue too. The man get a numbers. They think will
Wow.
be landslide for rescue one and rescue two.
Wow.
Yeah, and
Okay.
the way rescue one supposed to go for treatment because since 2017 he had that little battery. They need to put new battery in him because there'll be more pressure. We want rescue one had to be. We needed to beat fast. We
Yeah,
wanted
but
to slow down.
I mean, rescue two will be there. So
Yeah, so the ticket will be a good ticket.
you're not worry. So let it leave Mr. Coming. Poor Mr. Coming by that.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. I think guys, it's been. Let me welcome my brother here, Magnus Castle, my Bon Country brother. I know you'll be confused, but he may say, Pastor, man, I come from Kogoya, Magnus. I come from Kogoya, so you don't know. So, yeah, but I think it was a good show, Paul, and we told it, yeah, Muna clip. I like Muna ni. They clip. I think that crew clipla.
Yes, that's
That
true
clipla.
name.
I
Yeah.
every time I see any, that clipla is like, yeah. But let's see. Thanks to Yumotro and that this another pastor friend or family. And see, I'm trying to be racist or try what they say here now, but you always got to recognize your own. So thanks for watching. And like I said, tomorrow is Wednesday. Thursday, we're having a special edition of the Bottom Line Liberia. We're going to be hosting Duke JJ, a tough talking guy from the CPP camp. And we'll be hosting him. And then Friday, we're not too sure it will be here because I'll be traveling. Uh, I think Paul will be traveling, but I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
know
yeah,
Paul's.
yeah, definitely. For
Yeah, on the same Friday,
let
right?
me the announcement because Mr. Cummings meant to be with us in Sweden this weekend,
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
and because some important issue came out, this the it have been postponed to the end of June.
Mhm,
So people have already purchased their ticket. Will be gathering in Stockholm this
mhm,
weekend. The program will continue. They will have the meet and greet, and we'll have a function. We're meeting up with the Liberian Association also in Sweden. So
Sweden.
yes, we're going to have a ball in Sweden, and then we'll promote ANC activity over there. Mr. Cummings will be with all in June, and that will be his last travel of the year before he become
The
president.
elections.
The men that they afraid of, that rescue one, rescue two, all of them afraid of him. So, including my own brother, the President George Manuel Weah, that Mr. Cummings will rescue the country. He have now gaining huge momentum. We're not following the propagandists that whatever they want to say, good luck to them. Come October 10, we'll have a new president, Mr. Cummings, and we're confident he will win it. And there was an article published in the magazine here, the one economic magazine, that Mr. Cummings is setting to win the next presidency in Liberia. So we're looking forward to that. We are working extremely hard. A lot of people so many of us from the diaspora will be hitting the land too to make the case for Mr. Cummings. People must sit back and continue that propaganda. We'll carry Rescue 1 and Rescue 2 as our opponent. They will face Mr. Cummings with his VP that he will nominate at the CPP convention that coming at the end of this month and beginning of May. So watch out for that announcement that will change the whole thing around. And I'm praying that JMB, my old man, carry Rescue 2. And that's the TK1. We want a competition. We want people who are popular to go against people who are not popular. That we got 7% against 38%, and we get the other men that have 400,000 vote sitting in a vote. They're just going to open it, and now the vote will just fly from that the safe. So yes, we're looking forward to that competition. So we'll be in Stockholm this weekend. So we might come live when the program starts. So watch out on Saturday. It might be live, the bottom line. And our program meant to be relayed on SKTV, but no sis daughter and others have sorted that out. That will happen the end of June. Yeah,
Okay.
so any other announcement, brother?
Well, no, the only major announcement is that Mr. Cummings will not be there, but he's coming at the end of June. But
Yeah,
since people have already bought their tickets and people have booked
they will be.
hotels and other things, and then
Yeah,
the Liberian community in that place and all of well wishers who are waiting for the program, we just don't want to let it go like that. So we just decided to meet and interact, lay the groundwork for the coming of Mr. Cummings
exactly.
at the end of the June. So, but that's it. And but the only announcement again is that Thursday will be here. That's after tomorrow with the
We'll
other
have
edition of
Duke.
the program.
Yep.
And we'll have Duke on, and you know Duke is a talker, and he will talk. At that, I'm sure he'll
Yeah,
do
and
most of the talking. So we just
we
relax.
also talking to Mrs. Cummings. We'll have her on the bottom line at some point, but we're just waiting for the green light. She will be appearing on this platform, and then we'll have our viewers to call and talk to Mrs. Cummings, the next first lady of Liberia. People get to know her, so she will be appearing here pretty soon.
Good. Okay. On that note, Paul, take us home. The time is really, really fast spent.
Well, I just want to reflect our viewer on something here. The reason why Mr. Cummings cannot go back in, my old man, is just this. And I just want to play this. This man want to quote and testify against Mr. Cummings. And I just want to reflect our memories why Mr. Cummings will not be working with these people anymore, but will go into the competition. Whoever wins will follow.
Honorable Vice President, today you concluded your testimony here in court, and there are many out there who believe in you. They believe that your testimony here has just brought the opposition to a stage where you lost that value. What do you make of that statement?
Thank you. I was not here to testify against. I was here to explain what I know of and transpired over the framework document. We came as colleagues in the interest of this country, and we believe that we are all people of integrity, that we're working together in the interest of the country. If there are things that went wrong, and I've been asked to explain, I'm here to testify to what I know in the interest of the public and to make our people know who we are and what we stand for.
Many for the opposition community terms your testimony against Mr. Cummings, the one-time congressman from the opposition as his testimony that is being carried by so to show that you are working in alignment with government to prosecute Mr. Cummings.
The testimony was not against Mr. Cummings. The testimony was to see what we know about the framework document, whether this was the document that we signed, whether it was the document that we expected to have been filed to the NEC. That's what I said.
How do you see?
So I just want to reflect everybody's memory on this. This man testified on the framework and he made it clear something that he knew. So somebody you don't trust that the person more can't be your running mate. Then the next thing you say, because the man, he fell down, Mr. Cummings pushed him down because he greedy for power. We'll meet at the ballot box. We'll go into the competition. Whoever wins, that is the person who will serve the nation for the next 6 years. So on that note, I would say to our viewers, thanks for being with us. As always, keep following us. And we'll leave with some little message from Mr. Alexander B. Cummings, his little vision for Liberia, and then we close out tonight. So I will say good night to everybody. Play this, yeah.
How are we going to do these things? The first how is we want to engage Liberians differently in the transformation of our country. We call this hearts and minds. How do we get all Liberians to participate in the changes that are required? We're going to use arts and music and culture and reconciliation and religion. All of these things, we will be deliberate in using these things to engage us as a people in this transformation process. And so we're doing some work on how we can make those things happen. The next how is that we're going to find the money. We have to find the resources, the money, to do all of the what's I mentioned earlier. And the way we'll find the money is, first, we'll go after waste in government. You know, we spend a lot of money on things that we don't need, or we pay too much for things that we do need. So, for example, I believe the vehicles we buy for our government officials, we spend too much money on that. We should reduce the number of vehicles, and we should buy less expensive vehicles for our government officials. We need to reduce how much they make so we can pay teachers and civil servants and police officers and the military officers and healthcare workers, people who actually do the work. We need to pay them more money and reduce the gap between those at the top and those who actually do the work. The other way we'll find the money is going after this thing called corruption. You know, corruption has been the bane of our country. Is the primary reason why we are as underdeveloped as we are today. And we will aggressively go after corruption. The first thing we'll do is we will appoint a corruption czar, a minister in charge of corruption in the presidency that will coordinate all of the agencies that are meant to find corrupt officials. Secondly thing we'll do is we'll make sure we are giving the resources, the money, the right people, the right logistics to the anti-corruption agencies, the LACC, Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission, the General Accounting Office, the Public Procurement and Concessions Commission. We will make sure they got the right resources to go after corrupt officials. After that, when we find people who are corrupt, we will prosecute them, we will put them in jail, and we'll seize their assets. It will not be good enough for you just to resign. Okay. So those are the things we will do to really go after corruption. I have committed that I will not take a salary. The salary that is paid the president, I will allocate it towards helping to fight corruption. That's how important I think it is to us. And then the other way we'll find the money is we'll make sure we're getting full value, the full monies we're due from our natural resources. We'll look to exploit other natural resources so we can get the funds required to fund healthcare, to fund infrastructure, to create jobs, etc., etc. So finding the money is the second how. The next how is we want to create a government of inclusion.